The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius follows Jimmy Neutron, his faithful robotic dog Goddard, and his eclectic friends and family as they experience life in Retroville. Jimmy is a typical kid who just happens to be a genius. He creates gadgets to improve his everyday life, but his inventions often go awry and trouble ensues in the strangest of ways. In this video, we'll talk about our compilation of the best and the strangest Jimmy Neutron moments throughout the seasons, so stay tuned. But before we get into it, just a quick reminder that we have a fun little bonus fact for you towards the end of the video. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius is an American CGI animated television series, the second installment in the Jimmy Neutron franchise. It is based on the 2001 film Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius created by John A. Davis and serves as a sequel. It aired on Nickelodeon for 3 seasons from July 20th, 2002 to November 25th, 2006. The show follows an 11-year-old genius from the fictitious town of Retroville, Texas, the eponymous character, as he goes on adventures with his best friends Carl Wheezer and Sheen Estevez. Throughout the show, various mishaps and conflicts occur on these adventures, as Jimmy's various inventions go awry. The series features the voices of Debbie Derryberry as Jimmy, Jeffrey Garcia as Sheen, and Rob Paulson as Carl as the 3 main characters. Receiving mostly favorable reviews upon and since its release, the series has been the recipient of various nominations, such as the Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Cartoon in 2006 and 2007, and has also won an Annie Award for Outstanding Achievement in an Animated Television Production Produced for Children in 2004, as well as a Motion Picture Sound Editor's Golden Reel Award. Number 1. Nightmare in Retroville. On Halloween, instead of going as their usual Ultra Lord and Llama Boy, Sheen and Carl mix things up with Jimmy's help. Thanks to Jimmy's latest invention, Sheen and Carl become a werewolf and vampire and head out on the town to trick-or-treat. Unfortunately, their costumes work a little too well, as Jimmy's invention has altered the DNA of his friends to turn them into the monsters they're dressed up as. Carl turns Cindy into a vampire and Sheen makes Libby a werewolf. And even Jimmy's father gets mixed up in the mishap when he accidentally makes himself Frankenstein. It's bizarre, even for Halloween, but we can't deny that it's also the best episode. Number 2. The Mighty Weezers. While staying with Carl and his family, Jimmy is subjected to their bizarre stretches before dinner, their snoring, and their many allergies. To make life a little bit easier for himself during his stay, he comes up with health boost caplets that work a little too well. Carl can see without his glasses, and he and his parents have acquired super strength and lost their allergies. Unfortunately, now thinking themselves invincible, the Weezers decide to take on Mount Incredibly Unstable, leaving Jimmy and Sheen to save them. Why Carl and his family wouldn't question their newfound abilities is peculiar, but they enjoyed it while they could. Number 3. Trading Faces. Jimmy is sick and tired of Cindy humiliating him, so he resolves to come up with a way to read her mind. However, due to a mishap, Cindy's mind ends up in his body and vice versa. Horrified at their situation, both kids want to switch back immediately. But while they're stuck in each other's bodies, they resort to pranks to humiliate one another in the meantime. Ultimately, Jimmy finds a way to switch back, and Cindy mentions that one of them was imagining the 2 of them holding hands and kissing while walking down a country lane. Both deny imagining it, but the moment certainly hinted at a romance between them. Number 4. Granny Baby. When his parents go out of town, Jimmy is left with his grandmother, who tends to complain. A lot. Tired of listening to it, Jimmy decides to come up with a potion that would get his grandmother her youth back. But it backfires big time when it turns her into an infant. Jimmy hurriedly works on an antidote to turn her back before his parents return, relying on Cindy for help in the meantime. Jimmy's grandmother made for a creepy baby, considering she could talk and everything. Number 5. Beach Party Mummy. When a boring video on the history of mummies puts their teacher and classmates to sleep, Jimmy resolves to take a real trip to Egypt instead, with Carl, Sheen, Libby, and Cindy accompanying him. They have a beach party in the desert and later discover a lost tomb following a sandstorm. However, their unexpected discovery gets bizarre quickly when one of Jimmy's inventions accidentally brings the mummies back to life. Libby just so happens to resemble their queen, so they use her to command them to sleep for 10 trillion years. Plus, when the principal caught them sneaking out of school, he bought their excuse that they were going to the school tanning salon. He figured out he'd been tricked later, but it's strange he didn't realize it at the time. Number 6. I Dream of Jimmy. To get to the bottom of Carl's nightmares, Jimmy comes up with an invention that allows him to go into Carl's dreams and help him through them. Jimmy discovers that, in Carl's dream world, he is a dumb student and Carl is a genius. However, it gets more bizarre, given Carl's married to a turkey and has a monster lima bean after him. That lima bean monster follows Jimmy back into the real world, and after defeating it, Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen make a feast out of it. It's a weird way to end a nightmare, but it's just another day in the life of Jimmy Neutron. Number 7. Sleepless in Retroville. Carl and Sheen join Jimmy for a sleepover, where Jimmy unveils his newest invention, the Slumbertron 9000. It provides pillows for pillow fights, pizza, and scary stories. The boys do all 3 before bedtime and quickly fall asleep afterward. However, Carl's hunger wakes him, and he pushes all kinds of buttons on the machine, causing it to create a pizza monster which proceeds to chase them, while pillow monsters chase Jimmy's parents. The episode ends with Jimmy, Hugh, Carl, Sheen, and the pizza monster itself all waking up from nightmares of their own, with the pizza monster's wife assuring her husband that children don't exist. From pizza monsters to nightmares, this episode is full of fun content. Number 8. Love Potion 976/J. Jimmy is horrified by a classmate's relationship and decides to come up with a way to create an anti-love vaccine. Unfortunately, following a mishap caused by Carl in the lab, Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen each inhale high doses of pheromone, causing them to fall in love with the first girls they see. Jimmy falls for Cindy, Sheen goes for Libby, and strangely enough, Carl falls for Jimmy's mom, Judy. The most strange yet funny aspect of this Valentine's Day episode is the fact that Carl is jealous of Hugh and does everything he can to steal Jimmy's mother away. Number 9. When Pants Attack. Jimmy is tired of putting his pants away, so he comes up with an experiment in which the pants would put themselves away. Unfortunately, the experiment fails big time, and Jimmy has an even bigger mess to clean up than before. Not only does he lose his pants, but his friends do as well. Plus, the pants are evil and set off to recruit more pants so they can essentially rule the world. It's a bizarre storyline, especially for the series premiere episode, but it's certainly memorable. Number 10. Who's Your Mommy? This Season 3 episode is the most iconic of them all. Jimmy takes Carl and Sheen to outer space to retrieve Sheen's Ultralord action figure left behind from a previous venture, and while there, an alien attaches itself to Carl's face. Jimmy manages to get the alien off Carl, but the damage has been done. Carl is now pregnant. While everyone else celebrates and thinks nothing of it, with the girls even throwing a moody Carl a baby shower, Jimmy works tirelessly to find a way to remove it, fearing for his friend's safety. Everything turns out okay, of course, and the episode ends with Carl, Sheen, and Jimmy attending the alien baby's birthday party. But it was downright weird. And now it's time for the bonus fact. But before we get into it, we would like to thank you for staying with us throughout the video. There have also been 3 tie-ins with special episode crossovers involving the Nickelodeon hand-drawn style series, The Fairly OddParents, under the title The Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, When Nerds Collide, and The Jerkinators. The 5 main characters from Jimmy Neutron meet with the main characters from The Fairly OddParents, Timmy, his godparents, and his 2 best friends, Chester and AJ. What Jimmy Neutron moment is your favorite? Comment down below and let us know all about it. If you enjoyed the content, uplift the channel by hitting like, subscribe, and also ring the YT bell to meet us again in the following video. Until next time!